Hello, and thank you for joining me on day 78 of the Momentum Challenge. At 8, I am Maggie. And of course, I am Maggie. It is very exciting that we are moving. We're through this Momentum Challenge. We are on day 78, and I hope you can just feel the currents of the living God carrying you forward. Okay, so what we are doing Florence Shinn's complete works. We read the chapters twice, and then I break it down into points. And we are on her book, The Power of the Word. So everything is about what we speak, the vibration it carries, and what we speak comes back to us, and how we are going to discipline ourselves and hold ourselves to these higher standards while we also allow God to do his work on us so that our will becomes in alignment with God's will, and we are just doing good, great, wonderful, beautiful things out there. So day 78. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up where I left off. So we left off on Florence's tool or tip or point 28. So I'm hitting up 29. So 29 I have as, so I told in 27, 28, and 29 about the lady who performed on the stage, who had the skin, and then she ended up getting a show and it was a hit. And then the guy was jealous of her and she was removed, and she cried out to God, "Oh God, don't let me hate this man." And she worked in the silence, and then she was able to clear her skin condition. So 29, my point is that her skin condition completely healed because in asking for love or goodwill, she had fulfilled the law, for love is the fulfilling law, and the disease which came from the subconscious resentment was wiped out. Capuzze. Done. Finito. Pow. No more. And that's what we're going to be doing too. We are going to be pow, finito, wiping out, that's it, a lot of negative things. Okay, so that's point 29. So let's come from love. Let's come from love and above. Let's come from goodwill. And then just watch what happens around you. It's going to be blooming everywhere. Okay. Point number 30. Continual criticism produces rheumatism, as critical, inharmonious thoughts cause unnatural deposits in the blood, and then it deposits in the joints, otherwise, aka known as arthritis, right? Painful. So if you look at Louise Hay's Love Your Body or Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life, she literally lines up, okay, so every single affirmation or illness, she lines up to like what the corresponding discord is or inharmony, and then the affirmation to work with. So, okay, we'll go into that later, but I'm just saying, like, Florence Shinn is hitting up how criticism produces rheumatism, and that inharmony creates basically deposits in the blood, which end up in the joints, which is arthritis. She goes on to say that false growths are caused by jealousy, hatred, unforgiveness, fear. Every disease is caused by a mind not at ease. And like Louise Hay would like to say, disease is dis-ease. So let us put our minds and hearts aligned and at ease. Let's start moving out of the jealousy, the hatred, the unforgiveness, the fear. Like when you find these things popping up, you like catch it rearing its head, count to 10 and pivot in a new direction. You get to choose what you are ruled by, you're the creator. So how you rule the universe. So let's choose to rule with love, peace, joy, and many of the other higher vibrational states. The other thing is all this stuff, jealousy, hatred, all this stuff feels like crap. Like your joints are gonna hurt, your heart's gonna hurt, your lungs are gonna hurt. I know like a lot of lung conditions are lack of forgiveness too. And also the hardened heart, right? All these things harden us, harden our hearts. Like one of the things when, people pass away, when people die, what sets in? Rigor mortis. It's the ultimate stiffening of the body. Our bodies are meant to be flexible and flowing. And that's why things like yoga and praise moves and exercise is important, because it keeps everything moving. It keeps everything lubricated. It keeps like an object in motion will stay in motion. There's a lot of research to show that the more you move and the faster you move, the longer your lifespan. The more you slow down, the sooner you are to taking that long sleep. So let's use our life for the best things. Okay, point 31. So she makes a point of saying, like, there's no use in asking people what's wrong with you, but rather who's wrong with you. Like, what crawled up your special zone and died there? Like, who's wrong with you? What is the deal? So she goes into this story. So unforgiveness is the most prolific cause of disease. It hardens the arteries, it hardens the liver, the eyesight, right? So glaucoma and all that stuff. And it just brings tons of illnesses. So we want to think love, peace, joy, but we want to think relaxing, and we want to move with beauty and grace, and we want to stay flexible, soft, and moving. So she put in 31, it's kind of what's wrong with you, but who's wrong with you? And 32, it's the story about the oyster lady. So this oyster lady, she goes to a function and she eats a poisonous oyster. And Florence talks to her and is like, what's the matter with you? And she answered, oh, about 19 people. So she had quarreled with 19 people prior to this event, and she put herself into such inharmony that she attracted the poisonous, like she brought the poisonous oyster into our life. Now listen, here's something. Sometimes people start flexing and just get overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, I thought a bad thought, or I thought a negative thought, or oh my gosh, I did this, I did that. That's not what we're going for. We, just like if you were to train for a race, you were to get a degree, take a test, you study usually, you practice. Even if you have natural gifts, there's always an area that you can continue to perfect the craft, whatever it is. And so the thing about it is, if you find yourself missing something or making a mistake, that's your chance to course correct. You don't have to pound down on yourself and feel bad about what have you. If you quarreled with 19 people and then all of a sudden a shit train comes behind you, don't be surprised. You want to reevaluate, course correct, and get right back onto the wave of fortune. So the oyster lady, she got 19 quarreled with 19 people. Got who's wrong with you? That was wrong with you. Okay, point 33. The enemies within ourselves. Man's only enemies are within themselves. A man's foes shall be they of his own household, meaning within ourselves. So we are struggling with ourselves, no matter if we want to admit it or not. Personality is one of the last enemies to be overcome, and this planet is taking its initiation in love. So I wanted to point out that it takes a great deal of bravery and responsibility, and compassion to face oneself. And a lot of times we want to project out and blame out and see out. And it's not easy, but once we begin to understand that that's actually in and the enemies within, that's actually the beauty of it. Because once we begin to work with the inner terrains, we can flush that out. So actually, point 33, the enemies within oneself, as you begin to look around, you just start to realize there are people reflecting back the beauty and wonder of you, but they're also reflecting back the areas that you need to improve. So don't get mad about it and don't get angry about it. Get excited about it, because you are honing in to a much higher vibrational state, and it's actually quite exciting. Okay, point 34, the love initiation. We got the song here in Hawaii by J-Boog, J-B-O-O-G, Love Season. Now, of course, love season is in process. Don't stress. Life's like a furnace. Love's like a furnace on fire. Anyway, of course, it's a little different. He's singing about, the deep longings. But the bottom line is also our love affair, our love initiation. As we begin to choose love and above, the whole world changes around within you and around you, and it's just so much more exciting to be out there. Okay, point or tool 35. It was Christ's message. Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. The enlightened man, therefore, endeavors to perfect himself on his neighbor. Okay, but the real deal is our work is within ourselves, and to send out goodwill and blessings to every man and woman. And the marvelous thing is that if one blesses a man or woman or child, they have no power to harm you. Remember that. When you send up that light, you send out that love, and you send it from your heart. You can't send out bullshit. You can't fake. You gotta really, just like the lady with the skin thing, she cried out to God. She knew that her human strength wasn't enough. She cried out to God, oh God, don't let me hate this man. Cry out to God, cry out to the universe, and that strength will come in. And when you bless a man, a woman, or when you love a person, even when you want to hate them, or you choose the higher thing and you choose it from your heart, humble yourself and just, okay, this is what my task is. That person will have no power to harm you. Okay, point 36. Now, this was the story about the man with the machine. Okay, so he had the machine and he wanted to sell the machine, and he feared that he was going to be defeated and his machine wasn't going to sell because this other guy's machine was going to be there and all this stuff. And she basically, Florence told him, wipe out fear. God protects us and over our interests. And 3, the divine ideas must come out of the situation. Divine ideas will, like she says, must. That means that you can trust assured God's got your back. So, first of all, we must wipe out fear. Know that God protects our interests, and the divine idea must come out of the situation. And so in this case, Florence Scovel Shinn also directed him, do not hold criticism towards that man. Okay, so this is a theme. You're hearing this. We can't hold this contempt, hatred, anger, unforgiveness, whatever, and think it isn't going to harden us, poison our blood, poison our veins, poison. No, we cannot. So she told him, do not hold critical thoughts towards that man. And kaboom, what happened? The other guy's machine didn't work, and he was able to sell his machine. And he didn't sell his machine, had no problem selling. So, yes. So just don't hold criticism. Bless the enemy. So wipe out the fear. Remember that God protects us and has an interest in us, in our interests. and that the divine ideas will come out of that situation. Not maybe, they will. And you got to start training your mind. Like, what was that one quote she said? Like, why worry about it? It won't happen anyway. Or you got to start training your mind that we can't be disappointed, that we are surprises around the corner, and that as Renee Garcia would say, my world is taking care of me. Everything is going according to plan, and it's going to be beautiful. Well, she says it much better than that. Hold on a second. Okay, thank you for waiting for me. She has these absolutely wonderful stickers that retrain your mind. And basically, my world is taking care of me. Everything is going according to plan. Things are working out beautifully and will continue to do so with ease. And she has them surfing on a wave. So they're riding the wave of fortune. They are not getting stuck in pendulums. And what is so beautiful about this is that she created this affirmation to help retrain herself to realize that everything was advantage, everything was working out, and that it was going to take care of her. So I encourage you to go check out Renee Garcia at Reality Transurfing Institute. She's just amazing. And she has this other really great quote that says, knowledge without application is merely entertainment. So we love to be entertained. And if entertainment helps you get you juices flowing and get you moving in the direction of your path, so be it. But don't just entertain it and not apply it. Apply the truth here. Okay, so our world is taking care of us. Okay, now, point 37. Okay. Point 37, ready? But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good things to them that hate you, and pray for them that spitefully use you and persecute you. You see that common theme? No matter what is going on, we hold to the higher principles. We are not foolish and stupid either, though. You don't just let people, you're not a doormat. You're not there to be forever being used up and stuff. If that's the case, you need to course correct and move in a different direction. But we are not going to hold that in our heart and let it change us. Okay, in 38, oh my goodness. Sometimes I don't know about my numbers. Okay, 38, I guess. Here we go. Goodwill produces a great aura of protection about the one who sends it. And no weapon formed against me or you shall prosper. For such is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. So when we are in service to God and we are holding in those higher principles, no weapon formed against us can prosper, or our families. So in other words, love and goodwill destroy the enemies within oneself. Therefore, one has no enemies on the external. Are you catching this? What, like Neville Goddard says, is everybody's us pushed out. So whatever you see going on out there, if you see enemies out there, if we get the enemies from within, it's done. So no weapon formed against us shall prosper. We choose love and goodwill. And therefore we are at peace inside of ourselves and around, even in the middle of a shitstorm. Okay, I got my numbers all over the place. So I'm going to say somehow there's 40 points in here. So 39 got snuck in there somehow. But 40, 39, anyway, there is peace on earth for him who sends goodwill to men and women and children and everyone. So as we started out the power of the word, we are sending out love and goodwill with our intensity in the momentum challenge on day 78. And we are doing so good. Oh, Okay, so I just want to thank you for joining me. Please support my channel, like, subscribe, positive comments. I would love to know which one of these tools might you be yielding to bring forth the most beautiful life. Purposes, service, dreams, visions, goals. What is it? Because we're moving quickly towards the 90 days. I think we're going to be, I don't know where it'll fit, but 4th of July, I'm just going to keep tracking up to that day. We're going to be, that's our Independence Day. We have been in this incubator pushing things out with our momentum challenge, and we have been hanging in there thick and thin, and it's going to be beautiful. So thank you for joining me, and may you be at peace.